Was anything you did criminal?
Not that I know of.
Former longtime Harrisburg Mayor Stephen Reed proclaiming his innocence after being indicted on several criminal charges. We're talking close to 500 counts here, including theft and bribery.
Now, many blame him for the financial collapse of the capital city. Tonight, we have live team coverage. We begin with CBS 21 investigative reporter Matt Rist, who was there as Reed went in front of a judge this morning. Matt is live in Harrisburg. Matt, what can you tell us?
Tanya, Rob, the Attorney General calls this day years in the making. The grand jury's criminal complaint alone nearly 100 pages, all aiming criminal charges at Harrisburg's former top leader.
Yes, we'll give a statement later.
From the moment he left his doorstep
Bewildered would be the right word.
to his walk to court, longtime Mayor Stephen Reed, looking worse for the wear, proclaimed his innocence. Was anything you did criminal?
Not that I know of.
The Attorney General's office says the grand jury indictment includes hundreds of counts on 17 different charges, including bribery, theft, and receiving stolen property, actions which left Harrisburg with more than $300 million of debt.
He was arrested for his role as the mastermind in a pattern of corruption that spanned approximately 20 years. This scheme of serial issuance of public debt sent the city of Harrisburg, our Commonwealth's capital, into massive debt.
The investigation centered around two projects, an incinerator for which the city took on millions of dollars of debt for its upkeep, which investigators say Reed funneled to other projects. The second, millions of dollars in artifacts bought with city funds for a Wild Wild West museum which never came to be.
Reed retained possession of a massive collection of city property and began to treat the city's assets as his own. This chain of debt took many years, approximately 20 years, to construct, and almost 2 years to uncover.
The AG's office is still going through items found in Reed's home and warehouse.
A life-size sarcophagus, the suit of armor you see here, for which the city paid perhaps $14,000, a $6,500 vampire hunting kit. A host of other items, many of which were fakes, despite the fact that the people of the city of Harrisburg paid the authentic price, paid top tick. One person in the grand jury testified that when Mayor Reed came to town, the fakes came out and the prices went up.
Kane acknowledged Reed did do some good for the city.
I devoted my life to the city of Harrisburg, and I look forward to waging a vigorous fight against these charges.
Now, Rob, Tanya, as you see there, Mr. Reed looking quite frail. We do know that he is battling stage 4 prostate cancer. Today he answered some questions saying that that is a very real health threat that he's dealing with. Now, as for the Attorney General, it was asked if this trial could be sped up anything more than it already is. They say they have 1 year before it will go to trial. They're at the mercy of the court system. I'm live in Harrisburg. Matt Rist, CBS 21.
All right, Matt, thank you. And current Harrisburg Mayor Eric Pappenfuss released this statement today, saying in part, quote, "Today's developments mark another important step along the path to the city of Harrisburg's recovery. The region continues to pay for Mayor Reed's misdeeds through exorbitant parking fees and sky-high trash disposal rates." Well, Mayor Reed was mayor for close to 30 years, and he's credited with doing good things for the capital city.
CBS 21's Lara Greenberg takes us back, showing us Reed's rise and fall. She joins us live in Harrisburg with that part of the story. Lara.
Robin, Tanya, the Attorney General says this indictment, these charges, all of this was at least 20 years in the making. So how did we get to this point, and what do the people who live in Harrisburg think of the former mayor now? That's what we tried to find out today. Hundreds of counts of theft and bribery, alleged illegal use of public funds, and corruption. That's what former Mayor Steve Reed was charged with today, but that's not how he's necessarily remembered by city residents we spoke with.
Mr. Reed was an excellent mayor.
Reed was mayor from 1982 until 2010. He's generally commended for sprucing up City Island and parts of the city. But Paul Cochran, who lives in the city, says he took notice when things seemed to change.
It started with rumblings about the incinerator, and this idea that he had sort of let the refinancing of it get out of control, and I sensed some corruption there.
That corruption is what Attorney General Kathleen Kane says has been going on for years. Luis Morado Lara of Harrisburg thinks Reed is innocent.
When there is an individual that stays in power for so long, things happen.
He believes those who worked under Reed were the bad eggs.
There is a tendency not to indict big fish, but he is not the main problem.
But Kathleen Kane says it's the other way around.
Reed was very gregarious, very charming. He had a very dynamic personality. And that's probably what started this out.
Despite the changes he's seen over the years, Paul Cockrum says he's pleasantly surprised to see Reed actually charged.
There was this really cynical part of me that just assumed the corruption ran too deep and he knew where too many bodies were.
Now, Attorney General Kane says that one of the big players in bringing this investigation together was the current mayor, Eric Papenfuss. I'll be speaking with him in just a couple of minutes, and we'll have what he has to say coming up at 6. Live tonight in Harrisburg, Lara Greenberg, CBS 21 News.
All right, Lara, Democratic Senator Rob Teplitz, who represents Harrisburg, released this statement saying in part, quote, "Today's news is an important first step toward providing answers to the taxpayers and residents who continue to pay the price for the city's financial crisis." Well, despite the deal to sell the incinerator and lease the parking garages, the capital city continues to be saddled with much, if not all, of the debt that was incurred through the Reed years.
Harrisburg has seen higher water and sewer bills in the past couple of years, along with higher parking rates. The recovery plan also doubled the earned income tax to 2%, and there has been talk of changing Harrisburg to a home rule type of charter, which would mean that EIT could go higher down the road.
Our coverage of this story continues in our next half hour. Coming up at 5:30, a look at the project Reed is accused of pumping money into, even after it was considered a no-go. And our CBS 21 political insiders weigh in on what's happening next in this investigation.
You can count on us to bring you updates here on the air and online, CBS21.com, Twitter, and also Facebook.